Hi everybody, it's Horde the Board here again. My name is Edgar and welcome to my Essen coverage. Essen Spiel is just around the corner. I hope you are ready for all the games that's going to be announced. Um, I'm going to break this down in a few videos. This video is just going to focus on what Essen is, some tips how you can prepare, and then we were going to do like a top 10 demos that I'm interested in. For now, let's just start off that for the people that don't know what the Spiel is, because it's actually called Spiel. People say Essen. It's like, are you going to Essen? Well, if you're in the hobby, that's the only thing you need to say, and people know what you're talking about. Most of them. If you don't know, then you go like, what is Essen? It's like, you look it up and it's like, it's just a town. But the town has one of the biggest board game conventions in the world. It's 4 days of board games being demoed. You can buy board games. There's not a lot of open gaming. I will explain that in a little bit. It's not that there's an open board game space. It's usually open from early in the morning until late in the afternoon, and then it closes. People go to their hotels, and usually games that are bought at Essen Spiel will be played at hotels. I've seen it a lot in lobbies, just walking around on the street. I look into hotels and I see people playing games there. We will talk about Essen for a little bit, and then we're gonna do the top 10. How about that? So the Spiel is in Essen, Germany. It's always in October. Usually it's later in the month, so the last half of October. This year they did it a little bit earlier. It's from the 6th till the 9th. I have here the web page from the Spiel. And as you can see, from the 6th to the 9th of October, there's a German version, but there's also an English version. There's a lot of information. Just go to the site and check it out. I will just give you some information and go through the Spiel guide a little bit. So it's called the Spiel, the International Spieltage. It's the 2022 version, like we're living in this year. And there are some tickets and access requirements. Let's talk about that. As soon as you go to tickets and access, you'll see the layout of the Spiel. Not the floor plans, it's just the layout of the whole Spiel. Not every hall is being used. Hall 7 and 8 is not being used. Compared to last year, Hall 4 will be used this year. Last year, because it was a smaller con because of the COVID situation, they didn't use Hall 4. I think there was a missed opportunity to spread out more, but it still was okay. This year, masks are mandatory. You don't have to show a proof of vaccination, so that's at least one thing. There's no exemption to the rule for people that can't wear masks, unfortunately. But we try to keep. I think they're just trying to keep everybody safe. So it is what it is. So you see here we have like Hall 3, Hall 1, and Hall 8 are the places you can enter. So in Hall 3 you have the west entrance here, and Hall 1 there's an entrance here, and in Hall 8 there's an entrance here with a dotted line. In Hall 8 you can buy with money, I think. There's a cash, it says here. Please note that there are cash desks on site at the east entrance only. So, but if you purchase your tickets beforehand, like I did, you can enter through all the entrances. So be careful, just go to Hall 8, or else you have, if you're on one of the other halls waiting to get in and get your tickets there, I don't think you can. Just go to Hall 8 immediately. Hall 8 and 7 are not being used, but they are like waiting areas. So If it's like last year, you go to hall 8. You go here. You go in. You get your tickets, or you just walk past the ticket, check in, and you go to hall 8, and then to hall 7. And here, people were waiting last year to go and go into hall 6 as soon as the doors open at 10. There are 2 entrances, so people can spread out. In hall 8, here in this corner, you can leave certain bags there, because certain bags are not allowed. I'm just gonna scroll down here. So these big Cajun backpacks are not allowed. You can bring them, but you have to stash them there. It costs €3 to give your bag there, and later on, if you have a lot of games and you want to fill your case up with some games, it costs €2, but then it's free. So a maximum of €5 for the day if you want to fill it up. You can also fill it up at the end when you just get your bag, and you can fill it up and not give it back because it's the end of the day. Then you only pay €3. But I see people buying a lot of games, so you don't want to haul all your games with you. That's your choice. These trolleys are allowed, and let me see. There's also some information about consent, about voice recordings and photography. Just read that as you wish. People just usually film, and I don't know if there's a big problem. I filmed last year. I didn't put it on the internet, but this year I want to make a little video out of it. So this is important to know. The masks, these kinds of bags are allowed. I have like a duffel bag with a hard bottom with some wheels, and the handle, extendable handle. Those are allowed as well. Last year I was actually stopped, and they said it was not allowed, but they have these people that are working there for just a few days, and they should have known the rules. Long story short, at the end I was allowed to bring it. So, and these are actually very good that they don't allow these Cajun backpacks, because if you turn, you get hit in the head by those, and it's annoying. I'm just glad they are not allowed. It's like, have some courtesy for the people walking there. Yeah, and so you can go here to the ticket shop. Oh no, I think it's on top. Oh yeah, click here to the ticket shop. There are 2-day tickets also this year, and let me see. There's the prices. The prices don't differ from when you go there and buy them there directly at the counter. And also be careful here. The day tickets for families, maximum of 2 persons, only available at the east entrance. So if you want to get them at the east entrance. But I think make sure that you have a card, because the only place where you can buy with money was it the east entrance? Oh, it's the east entrance. It's also the one where you can buy with money. Sorry. So I thought it was this one, but this is the south entrance. So for families, you can only buy them at the east entrance. Oh, it's been a long night. Access requirements, because of COVID, it's still going on. There can be adjustments, because there's going to be a new COVID protection ordinance for that region on the 1st. So for now, at the date of this recording, you have to have a protective mask covering mouth and nose. It's mandatory for visitors. Also, children 6 and up also have to wear them. 6 and lower, they don't have to wear them. So, when are the opening times? Saturday the 6th till the 8th. So the 6th is Thursday, Friday the 7th, and Saturday the 8th is open from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. And on Sunday it's open from 10 p.m. to 6 p.m. So it's going to be an hour shorter. be aware of that. So these have interconnected hallways to go from 3 to 1 and from 3 to 2. There's also some entrances from 3 and 2 to the Galleria, which is this part here. And there's also entrances to 4 and some corridors to 5 and 6. There's more information about, for example, there's an app for Android and I think Apple devices. New release list digital. There's an exhibitor list digital. There's a newsletter, gallery if you want to see some pictures, exhibitors, and so on. There's some news, merchandise, press. That's all for you to discover. But let's go to the Spiel guide, including hall plans and new releases. So if you click here, you see here that you have the Spiel guide. You can press on the picture. And there's also some late registration list exhibitors and late registration list new releases. So those will not be in the Spiel guide. So let's open the Spiel guide. It's mostly in German, but it's also part English. So there's also all these commercials, like welcome to the Spiel guide. There's a new director, Dominique Metzler. Last year there was also after the Spiel they said things were gonna be maybe different. I don't know if they're gonna be different from last year. When I'm coming back, I'm gonna do a afterthought on Essen this year. And maybe there's things to compare from last year. And some takeaways from how they handled it this year. Last year was actually pretty good. Some smaller things that could be a bit better, but overall it was like a fantastic experience. So there's a part of it that's in English somewhere. See, here's some English. My Day at Spiel. There's the app, information, exhibition, also workshop, comics, hall layout, Educators Day, hygiene concept, things about international children, shopping, the foods and drinks. There's a photo wall. Masks are obligatory. A mask trade. A meet and play, panel discussion, research day. There's a parcel service. Parcel service is, you'll find the parcel shipping service in the Galleria, booth GA11. And there's a current price list within Germany, Europe, and the rest of Europe. And then there's the rest of Europe, World 2, and the rest of the world. So you can ship your games. Not going to be cheap, I think. I don't know. Just check that out for yourself. I'm bringing my games in the car. Educators Day. And some program for a research day. But the most important thing is the hall plans. So there's some information here also on the prices again. The entrances, it's in German, but you can find the information on the website. So let's go to Hall 1. So Hall 1 has an entrance here. One thing that I don't like about this map that they didn't do quite correctly, part of it on the other maps are right, is these exits here. Well, these exits, this is actually the entrance. So that's actually an exit out of the Messe. Out of the hall into the lobby and into the street. You can enter here as well. And if you go through here, it says only Halle. Wait a minute. So I just zoom in. It says Hall 1. Oh, it says here Hall 2. The 2 should have been here because I thought like, hey, they didn't have it written down. Oh, this is Hall 3. It has a 3 here. So it's kind of like the number is a bit obscured. Later on you see that the numbers are actually in the white spaces. So I'm just zooming in. So you have the hall 3 here. Maybe zoom out. So you can go to hall 3 through here and hall 2 through here and also on this side. If you go to hall 2, these are the two entrances to hall 1. You can go here to the Galleria, to these two spots. Actually a third spot here as well. And here you can go to hall 3. Also, there are toilets here in between, which people always forget. Because you go to the hall, and the thing is, in these doors you can go up and you can go to the toilets. That's a very... But you have to use the stairs. So if you have games, you have to haul them out of the stairs. I think that's also... I don't know all the toilets, but I'm keeping an eye out for the toilets on the map so I can point them out to you. So you don't have to walk far. So between 1 and 2, these are the toilets to go to. Toilet duty. Nobody's talking about toilets in other reviews. Remember that. I think so. Also, by the way, if you have here the exhibitors, they are in alphabetical order, and here is the number. The 1 and before that means hall 1, and then B103 for example for Aconte, and they're from West Roseville. It's very easy. They're from bottom to the top are the letters. So this is A, then there's a B. Sometimes there's like an overlap because this is not a rectangular hall. And then C, D, and E. And they go from like 1 or 110, and they go from left to right. If you watch it like this. So remember that when looking up at the map. Also hall 2 has the same thing. It's A, B, C, D, and then from left to right. Hall 3 here is in 2 pages because it's like a very long map. So here's the top. So here you can go to hall 2. And here you can go to hall 1. And here you can go to the Galleria and hall 4. So, and here there are some toilets on the north side. If you go here to the bottom, which is the entrance, the entrance to hall 3, from if you want to enter the Spiel, you can also enter to hall 3. There's some toilets also here in the lobby. Here they are. And I think here the toilets are here. No? Well, they're here somewhere. Oh, here they are. So it's very important to know your closest toilet. You don't have to walk all the way to a place that's too far. This is hall 4, just north of hall 3, through the Galleria. I'll show the Galleria in a bit. I don't think that toilet is here. So if you are here, go to hall 3 as soon as you enter hall 3 to the right. If you go to here, it's to hall 5. There are like 3 entrances. These FG are like, you just go to the outside. You cannot use them. There are some spots where the doors are open so that people can like be outside and take a smoke break. Or they just can have a little bit of fresh air. Just be careful you don't open any doors that will sound an alarm. Because I saw that happen once. And so we have hall 5 besides hall 4. So hall 4 you have like 1, 2, 3, 4 exits to hall 4, which is good. Hall 5 is a little bit bigger. I think they really stretched it out a little bit compared to last year. It was a little bit short on the top. Hall 4 was not being used last year, so that is actually good. It's going back to the original form. And then you go to here, you can go to the Galleria, and here as well. But between hall 5 and Galleria, usually you can use these doors. Be careful if they're closed or not. but usually people go out here to have a smoke break and or eat something outside. I hope we get good weather. And you can go here to the Galleria. You can go here to Hall 6. And then we have Hall 6. You can go to Hall 5. Hall 7 is here. The two entrances. Usually we wait here. Oh, there are 3 entrances. Was there 3 entrances last year? I can't remember. So it was only 2. And then, I think they're doing it all the way to the back because it was also a little bit shorter. And there's also, if you go to here, you can go to the hallway that goes to the gallery, so you don't have to go into Hall 5 and then go to the left. It can this can be like a pathway where people like go back and forth. So if you go through here, you go to the hallway immediately instead of going to Hall 5 first, which is just around the corner basically, but it can cut you off some time and some frustration of people walking in front of you. And then we have the Galleria. It's in 2 parts. So this is the leftmost part with Hall 3 here, Hall 4 here. Here you go to Hall 3, and here you go to Hall 5. And to the right, that is Hall 5. And this is Hall 5 and Hall 6. So you go to the right, the tip that I gave you. Hall 2, Hall 2, and Hall 2. And they will have children's things for children to do at that hall. Well, it's not really a hall. It's a gate. It's a big corridor, and they have a lot of things for kids to do. There used to be a lot of food trucks. I don't know if they're gonna put them outside at the end near the Hall 5-6 corridor. There were food trucks. I can't remember if there were food trucks at this exit here. I know there was one here, but in the past they would be full of food trucks on the inside. But because of COVID last year, they put it outside, which was actually a good idea. I hope it's not gonna rain. I hope they have a plan for when it rains that they can put like some tarp over that section with the food trucks. And that's it. There's a list of new Spiel games, and I'll just leave it at that. If also some tips, if you can bring some food. There's also a restaurant in Hall 3, which is basically, and there's some other food places sprinkled out. There usually would be one in Hall 4, which is these like candy things wrapped in. It's like a cone with cinnamon and sugar. There used to be one in Hall 5 as well. There's also a restaurant in Hall 6, which I don't know if it's going to be open this year. Like a food place. Not really a restaurant, but it's like a food place. And here also in Hall 3, it's a restaurant. I don't know if the other one is really called a restaurant. It used to be here. Snack Point. The other one is a restaurant. This is really a snack point. So, and then you have the food trucks outside of the halls. I don't know if they're going to be inside the hall, inside the Galleria, or outside of the Galleria. I hope they're outside, depending on the weather, maybe. There's a list of new games, and then I'm going to have some tips, and then I'm going to do the top 10 of demos. So one of the tips I will give you is bring good walking shoes. Bring in, because you're gonna be walking a lot. Bring some plastic bags for getting games, especially if you go. I don't know if there's gonna be usually they don't have like plastic bags because there's so many people. They have to have like tons of plastic bags. Sometimes you will get bags, paper bags or plastic bags from certain big developers, but it's always good to have some plastic bags too. If your duffel bag is full, you can at least bring them in some of the bags. You can bring some food with you, some snacks, and bring enough water to drink or some juice to keep your sugars up. Not too many sugars, maybe that's bad. I usually bring some bottles of Coca-Cola or some water to drink, and I bring some small snacks with me. Um, um, let's you can plan also your moments where you can rest. Be mindful where you gonna drink and eat. Don't do it at the don't do it at the tables unless you can have a bottle that you can screw shut. Don't be that kind of person that goes like, "Hey, can I demo?" Yes, and then you go and snack there. Those are not the places to snack. Let's be a bit considerate of each other. Uh, Try to find a place to eat something outside or in the galleria. There's some benches there you can sit. Um, and yeah, what kind of tips can I give you more is yeah, be considerate with other people. Ask if you can join a demo, or if you see a demo, you can always ask to explain the game if there's someone to explain the game. Uh, yeah, and yeah, just have a great con. Um, so for now, those are the tips. If in other videos if I come up with some tips, I will of course share it. Um, so the uh, for the top 10 demos, I looked at the BGG guide, the Essen Spiel preview, and I found some games. Initially, I had 6, and then I added 4 more. So those are a little bit lower on the list. Let's start with number 10. It's Brett Walda. It's going to be there at demo. It's from Phalanx Games, from Leo Solove. Don't know the designer. It's a 7.4. I think it's already. It says 2023. I really don't know how they already get a. Maybe people played it and played a copy of it and have it ranked. It's 3.14 weight, so it's a bit on the heavy side. Ages 14, 90 to 180 minutes, 1 to 4 players. And you have. I like the cover with this mask. And Britain. It's set in Britain in 796 AD. King Olaf Messiah exhales his last breath. A new Bedwalder must be crowned. So he tried to be the new king. It's a game to 1 to 4 players. Plays around 2 hours. Each player takes charge of one of the kingdoms of England. Each kingdom has unique leaders and abilities. Victory is achieved through a combination of control of key areas, completing chronicles, and constructing abbeys to support the spread of Christianity across the land. It's over 12 seasons by taking collection, development, mobilization, and movement actions. With only 2 actions per minute per season, each decision is critical. Each season will see new events, and the armies of Vikings or independent kingdoms may arrive or be bribed to attack rivals. They can have alliance building and bartering. Yeah, betrayal is never far away. It looks a bit on the light side in color, a little bit faded, but I like these minis. These figurines mostly, and there are some ships. And the car's a little bit old school, which has its charm, to be honest. And it's a little bit faded. It's like it's typical of the time when they use color, but we're not that vibrant. There's some dice there. It looks like an old map. It has its charm for sure, and it looks pretty good. It's like an area control with some events and stuff like that, and doing 2 actions. Yeah, that's my number 10, Brett Walda. Number 9, we have Terraforming Mars, the dice game. To be honest, let's see where Brett Walda is. I don't know where Bradwalde is, to be honest. I want to. You can look it up on the list because. Oh yeah, here it's from Founders Game Hall 2 A125, so you can find them there. Then we have Terraforming Mars, the dice game. Let me see if I can find it here, because I want to know where they are. Didn't do my homework. Oh, here they are. From Fix Games, Hall 3, P101. So, Terraforming Mars has been a big game in the industry. It's spun off, it has a lot of expansions. It spun off into Ares Expedition, which is actually the card game, but the original game already has a lot of cards, so if they call it the card game, would be a little bit weird. Uh, so Terraform is the dice game. It's 1 to 4 players, 45 minutes. There's no age or weight for it yet. It's going to be demoed there, and it's from Jacobs Fixel is the designer, and from Fix Games. And I think Strong will pick it up as well. This is the dice version of Terraforming Mars. I don't know much about it. You can watch, I think, Rado's playthrough, and he will explain how this one works because he already has a copy. And you see here the dice, they look quite nice. I don't know if this is a finished version of the dice, prototype dice. They didn't look finished. So these are the 3 games, Terraforming Mars, Terraforming Mars Expedition, and this is the new one, the dice game. I think these are prototype cards. Yep, prototype cover box. Game in progress here. It still looks prototypey. But you can see, even if it's a prototype here, you can see how the finished product will look like. It's in a stage where you can see all the ways that the game will turn out to be. So it's the dice version of Terraforming Mars. I think it will be even shorter and lighter than Ares Expedition, which already was going on the lighter side compared to its big brother. So that is Terraforming Mars, the dice game. Number 3. Oh no, I'm counting from 1 to 3. No, number 8. Number 8 is Among Cultists. It's a social deduction game. It's from 4 to 8 players, 45 to 90 minutes, from ages 12 and up. Weight is a 2. It's from Godot Games, designed by Stephen Godot. Godot? I don't know how to pronounce it, sorry. It's coming out next year. Become a member of M, a secret society. 4 to 8 investigators trying to prevent the arrival of the Great Old One in Miskatonic University. But watch out, evil cultists are already among us. This is, it even says here on the page, a unique social deduction experience inspired by the masterpiece Among Us from Inner Sloth. It's a very popular video game. I'm very curious how it will turn out in board game form. There's only basically, there are some pictures, but it's usually artwork. But I think if you, so here's some art, which looks quite nice. I really like the art. And there's only like one picture, not even I don't know if there's a board, but here are some cards, some things where you put tokens out, some tokens. This knife which maybe is a first player token. Some cards, the cards look nice, like a file system here, how these pictures look. I think these are characters, but there's nothing printed here, so maybe it's just a prototype cards. And it looks like to be a great game. I like the art, I like the aesthetic of the game. I'm very curious how it will translate from the video game to a board game. But this one is definitely on my radar. I don't know if I'm gonna do all the 10 demos that I'm there when I'm there, because I had six, I added four more. This one was part of the six, to be honest. Uh, but Walden Term for Mars came in later today, so I added them to my list. And let's go to number 7. Number 7 is Hegemony. Lead your class to victory. Simulate a whole contemporary nation in this asymmetric political economic Eurogame. It's heavy, 3.6, for age 14, ages 14 up, 90 to 180 minutes, 1 to 4 players, from hegemonic project games, and I'm curious what the 4 more are. Simon is bringing this one. Don't Panic Games, Giant Rock, Bumblebee 3E Interactive. So I think Simon Global Limited will pick that up. Is the most one of the distributors that is attached to this project. So and this one's I saw this one. I think it was on Kickstarter. I'm not sure. I can look it up. Yeah, Kickstarter. It went to crowdfunding. So this is a game where you're trying to. So the nation is in disarray, and you have to manage all these working class. You have the poor class, the working class, the rich class. You have to manage all their wishes. So it's a card-driven board game for 2 to 4 players that puts you in the role of one of the socio-economic groups in a fictional state. The working class, the middle class, the capitalist class, and the state itself. The working class controls the workers, the capitalist class controls the companies, the middle class combines elements from both the working class and the capitalists. It has workers who can work in the capitalist companies, but it can also build companies of its own, yet smaller. Finally, the state is trying to keep everybody happy, providing benefits and subsidies when needed, but trying also to maintain a steady income through taxes to avoid going into debt. Players have their own goals, but they are limited to the series of policies that affect most of their actions, like taxation, labor market, foreign trade. Voting on these policies and using their influence to change them is also important. It is heavily based on actual academic principles, such as social democracy, neoliberalism, nationalism, and globalism, and allows players to see their world applications through engaging gameplay. So, it looks very heavy. Let's look at some pictures. This is, if you go like, oh, this is way too much, it's like, maybe it is, but I'm still interested in the game. It looks kind of heavy. This is the cover. It looks quite heavy, yeah. There's tracks here. I think the state and maybe these are the 3 classes. So you have to. There's import here. Hospital, little workers. You can vote on stuff. It looks quite nice, and I'm actually just curious about this whole how this will work out. Will it be too heavy for me? I don't know. But I'm actually interested in this one. So that's Hegemony, lead your class to victory. Number 5 is Zoo Tycoon, the board game. This was recently added. It's already on my number 5 because I have Ark Nova and I like zoo teams. So I'm really interested how this one will differ from Ark Nova. So this is from 2 to 4 players, 120 to 180 minutes, ages 13 and up, no weight complexity just yet. It's from Treaser is the publisher. I don't know it. I don't know any of the artists or designers. But if you ever dreamed of building and managing your own zoo, well, now you can with Zoo Tycoon, the board game. It's based on a video game. Um, you can build a zoo that focuses on animals like lions, gorillas, and elephants to attract and thrill guests, or develop partnerships with national parks and/or conservation and reintroduce endangered species back into the wild. I don't know if this sounds. If we weren't talking about Zoo Tycoon, I would think this would be Ark Nova. There are 34 different species. Most of them represented by 230 beautiful animal meeples. That is different. You have a bunch of options from which to select your favorite animals, but selecting animals is only the beginning. It's like in real life, each animal will require unique cards to meet their individual needs. That is also different. Carefully balance group and enclosure sizes, social composition, and guest proximity to try and achieve the right balance between animal and guest happiness. In Zoo Tycoon, players can let me see. In this strategic and thematic board game, each player has the freedom to develop their own zoo with 34 species, food booths, zoo shops, and etc. Each animal has its own care requirements focused on 3 key areas: popularity for visitors, educational value, and nature conservation. As with zoos in real life, players must find the right balance between popularity and conservation over the course of the game. In the end, the lower value between those two measurements will count as your final score. Ark Nova again? That sounds like Ark Nova, because in Ark Nova you have to cross these two paths, these two tracks. They have to cross each other, and that will trigger the game. And there's some endgame score which will pull them even further apart once they crossed. And the difference that will is the score. So I'm really curious. Each game you play will be different, delivering high replay value thanks to a novel game mechanism. The animal market with supply and demand. That is still different. Changes continuously. And then events. This can be interesting. I don't know if there's space for 2 big zoo games in my collection, but this, especially with Ark Nova ranking so high, if I buy this one, will it get to the table or not? Let's look up some pictures. Look at the animals. They are art, so that is actually quite cool. Did it say panda diplomacy? Pandas are getting into diplomacy now. Oh, these animals look actually cute. Sorry, these tracks are like a lot of tracks. I don't know what they do, but here's some example of like maybe also put tiles out. And it looks cool. Like the cover is like so inviting. So it's like, I think if a kid saw this cover, like, Mom, Dad, can we buy that game? It has animals in it. It looks very nice. So my number 5 is Zoo Tycoon, the board game. Number 4. Do I have one too many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, that was number 6. That was not number 5. I've been counting. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Yeah, 6 was Zoo Tycoon. Sorry. Now we go to number 5. Copain, Dying City. This, I usually pick demos that at least have a picture of the game. This one doesn't. It just sold me on pure elevator pitch alone. So let's go to the information. Copan Dying City, 1 to 4 players, 60 to 180 minutes, ages 14, no wait, coming out next year. It's from Holy Grail Games. That is a green flag, not a red flag, a very bright yellow flags up. I haven't played any of their games, but I heard so many good things about them. And it's about the city of Compiègne. Um, it's a Mayan civilization, and it's bustling. And as soon as you go through all the rounds, everything that was abundant will become less abundant. So if you get research, you get a lot of research from the beginning. So it's actually the opposite. That you start off with less resources and you get more resources usually in the game because things open up more for you. This is the total other way around. It's like a reverse pyramid with a lot of resources, a lot of things to do. So it's a worker placement, tile laying game, and because the city will eventually die, uh, the civilization will crumble. Things will get destroyed. Some tiles will get destroyed. Less things you can put your workers on, and so on. And resources will be dwindling and be more scarce. Uh, More scarce. Uh, so it says here is a heavy Euro game for 1 to 4 players with both worker placement and tile placement mechanics. The game features a reverse difficulty curve because when play begins, resources are plentiful, making most actions easy to accomplish. However, all resources are finite. When they reach critical levels, they trigger potentially devastating events, and once they run out, they're gone forever. Uh, so there's no. Maybe did they add pictures? No, they still have the box. I love the box covers. Let's look at the box covers. It looks really cool with this temple and this guy in front of it praying to the eclipse, and all in the robe of this priest. It looks really cool. I'm very curious about this one. This one is. I didn't put it high just because there's no picture, but it green flags across the board for now. Number 4 will be Weirdwood Manor. Weirdwood Manor is 1 to 5 players, 90 to 120 minutes, 14. It is 14 and up. No art is listed. It's from Grey Ridge Games. Design is Mike Cassie. Just for one, let's look at the designer. Let's see what they did. I think it's the first game. See all 2? Amazon Peril. Don't know that one. So, this game is a cooperative game. So I don't have many of. I have a few of them. The Arkham Horror file games, Eldritch Horror, Arkham Horror, and stuff like that. But this is a cooperative that marries great adventure gameplay with some Euro-inspired underpinnings. As usual, a group of valiant companions battle to protect Weirdwood Manor and its enigmatic ruler, Lady Weirdwood, from an invading Fey monster, there are a few of them, and his clockwork scarab minions. The man is a mysterious and magical place where rooms and the passageways between them can shift as time progresses. The game features a unique temporal mechanic. Every time a player or the Fey monster takes an action, they will move forward in the game, and the connections between the rooms will shift via unique rotating corridor rings on the game board. Players have some agency in how to use their actions to affect how quickly or slowly time moves. Amazing! But beware, if the players use up their allotted time, they have not defeated the monster, they lose. There are also asymmetrical rolls. You have your deck of cards, which you can use, and the Fey monster will also act using its own custom deck. And the strength will increase. The game offers, let me see. Deep tactical choices and degree of unpredictability will make traditional leader quarterbacking virtually impossible. If the players can defeat the Fey monster before time runs out, they win, and if the Fey monster gets too powerful and completes his own objectives, the the players lose. And I really like this board. It's like this house is shifting from left to right, this rotating board. You have these things here with some text and all these tracks. It looks very cool. Let's make it a little bit bigger. I always forget that I can make it bigger. Sorry, guys. Oh, these little scarabs things. They look like scarabs. Let's go back a little. 3 evil foes. The Chaos Ogre, Sirius, the Dark Mage, the Min, Wraith, Bailey Briar, Celia May. These are your characters. Some of the decks. This is quite spooky. I think this is for the monster. This is the monsters deck. Yeah, this is the other monsters deck. These are your cards with your companions. I really like how this looks. It looks great. I really want this game. By the way, this year is the year that there are more demos that I want to check out than any other year. So if this is a good indication for next year, because most of the games in this 10 are already so high on my list that it's like I'm if I could buy them now blindly without testing them, I think I would. And this is one of them. So that was Weirdwood Manor. Number 3 is actually, you know what? Yeah, actually, number 4 and 3 I could have switched because I forgot about that time mechanism in Weirdwood Manor. But they're close because I like this from how the board looks and the theme. It's if you think encyclopedia is about words, no. Encyclopedia is a 1 to 4 player game. It's about actually collecting a diary of animals. So 1 to 4 players, 60 to 120 minutes, ages 14 and up, and weight 2.73. Kind of like a bit higher than medium. It's from Holy Grail Games. Again, Holy Grail. And well, this one was also from Holy Grail, right? Or was it the other one? No, this was from Grey Ridge Games. Copain is from... This one was from Holy Grail. Yeah, Copain was from Holy Grail. Yeah, these 3 are amazing. Well, they look amazing. So, I don't know who the artists are and the designers, but the year is 1739, and aspiring naturalists and adventurers, you've been hired by the Comte de Buffon, Darwin's predecessor, to help him create the first encyclopedia of natural history. You have to do research, organizing ambitions, expeditions, and publishing studies. So a dice-based worker placement. At the beginning, you'll be drawing and rolling dice, then placing them on your player board. These dice can be used to perform an action each turn, depending on their color and value. Your action can be preparing your expeditions by going to the embassy, visiting the bank to raise funds, or hiring a research team at the university. Once you're ready to go, you'll choose the animal cards you wish to study and organize an expedition to observe them in their natural habitats. When your research is complete, then you'll be able to publish your findings in an attempt to become the biggest contributor to Buffon's encyclopedia. Every publication you make will earn you victory points at the end of the game, you'll score points based on collection of animals and research amassed during play. And that's with the most points win. Sounds very cool to me. Yep. It has a beautiful theme. I thought it was Vincent to trade on this art. Let's look at the pictures. This looks very nice. I like the dice. I like how it looks. All these pictures. I think they give you points here. Yeah, it looks very good. The art is lovely. Iconography looks great. the cover looks also nice. I like to have these little containers. And this board looks like a workplace where you just put your your stuff up. I should have paused this video, to be honest. Then it would be a continuous video. But now I have to see if I can edit this and stick it together. Should not be difficult, but extra work, you never know. That's how life goes. Life has its ups and downs. It looks very nice. Design is great. Production looks great. Even if it's just these cubes, I don't mind. Now these cubes have to put like on the animals, I think, on certain parts of the board, and it looks nice. So that is my number 3 encyclopedia. Number 2 is gonna be Redwood. It's from Sit Down Games, or just Sit Down. I think just Sit Down is the publisher. 1 to 4 players, 45 to 60 minutes, ages 8 and up, and no complexity yet. Coming next year. Here you are a wildlife photographer. So it's a game of movements, estimations, and angle of view where players have to take pictures of wild animals to compose the most beautiful panorama. The game is 1 to 4 players, ages 8 and up, and the game lasts about 45 to 60 minutes. During each turn, each player will have to choose between different movements and their angle of view, materialized by real plastic elements, to catch the animals in the picture without disturbing them. So the thing is, you cannot pick the plastic piece up, put on the board, and try to measure, like, and then the other one, like, yeah, I'm picking this one. You have to visually go, like, I think this one will work on the board, that I can move my guy there, not disturb them, and take a picture. Collecting animals and the decorative elements earn victory points. During the game, new conditions for earning points will appear. The game ends after 5 turns, and player will be rewarded if they meet certain conditions to earn more points. There are pictures, but I think they're more in the prototype version, because I saw a video on Man vs. Meeple where it was further along. It says work in progress. Every designer should put that work in progress, because I don't like it when they don't put that there. It should be a industry standard. And I think the cover is maybe work in progress, but the cover is not that important. They can change the cover. It doesn't say work in progress. I think this is the final cover, I think. And it looks so awesome because this is a camera lens and everything is coming out of there. This whole nature thing with all these animals. You have these little guys that take pictures. And I think, so like these are the pieces, how you take a picture, so the angles. Yeah, it looks, I think also the guys have to face a certain direction because you cannot just like turn it on its axis. So you have to decide where to turn to, I think. But all these plastic pieces will be great because it's so different than any other game. But that's why I'm on my number 2, because I like how innovative it is. Man vs. Meeple did a video on that. Check that one out. The production there looks, I think, final, but better than here. That is Redwood. And for my number 1, I have Unconscious Minds. Unconscious Minds is just how great it looks. The game also sounds very much like a fun game. It's 1 to 4 players, 45 to 90 minutes, ages 12 and up, no wait yet, from Fantasia Games. I will say this: I don't know the designers, but I know the artists. Vincent Dutray and Andrew Bosley. Vincent Dutray you know from a lot of games. just 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 throw yourself onto a pile of games in a store, and for sure you will land on one of Vincent Dutray's art in one of the games. Andrew Bosley, Everdell. Do I need to say more? Uh, I also like his art in. Wait a minute. In Tapestry. Tapestry also has like very cool art. Uh, One of his bigger games, Mission Red Planet, also by Andrew Bosley, Citadels. And see, all 66 he made more. Chai Tea for 2, he made a lot of artwork for a lot of games as well. And this game is in Vienna in the early 1900s. Sigmund Freud has established a revolutionary set of theories and therapeutic techniques called psychoanalysis, which are related to the study of the unconscious mind. Um, you're a member of a society, in unconscious mind, game blends worker placement, engine building, multi-use cards, and action programming. Your goal is to master therapeutic techniques, establish a practice, and grow your clientele by delving into your clients' dreams, their unconscious minds. You can help them recover from various traumas and complexes. As a result, the people you treat will live happier and more productive lives. You can also publish volumes of your groundbreaking work, which will hopefully get cited by other researchers who come after you, furthering your legacy. And it says here in each turn, you may send a figure to one of the various action spaces on the main board. Then, depending on the role of the action space, you will advance the ink pot on your player's board's rondel a number of steps, triggering the effects of all the tiles that you have in the given line. From there, you may use dream cards and insights, a form of resources, to treat the patients in your office. There's also a map of Vienna with that you may visit with your professor meeple. They allow you to perform additional actions, gain reputation, unlock bonuses, and eventually withdraw your figures from the main board. The game has many interconnected systems that flow into each other with a cascading effect. That and Andrew Bosley and Vincent Dutrait. Are you kidding me? And the thing is, they complement each other. Because let's look at the pictures. The unconscious mind is drawn by Andrew Bosley. The thing in the unconscious mind, those they look a bit like Dixie card, but less weird. Or maybe there's one here that's weird. And the real world cards are drawn by Vincent Dutrait. So if you go, maybe let's go all the way to the beginning. So this art on the back is Andrew Bosley. This is Vincent Dutrait. This is Andrew Bosley. I love this art. So cool. It's more prototype art. This is Vincent Dutrait. More real life. This looks so good. Like I said, if these games would be there for sale, I wouldn't have enough money. It would be hard because I already have like a lot of games that I want to buy. But I think that some of the games I would buy right now would fall on the wayside to get these games. And it looks so beautiful, these dream cards. It looks... Look at these whales and these manta rays flying to the sky. And Vincent Dutrait art is amazing as well. But look at this. This is kind of freaky and weird. All these animals with these long legs. Yeah, it looks amazing. So this is one of the... I'm going by just to see how this game looks. And did I see all the images? Let's go to it. This was a player board, but I think you put some tiles here. Don't know how this works. Maybe some tiles over here as well. Let's go back, because wasn't there in one. No, there's no main board here to show you, but this looks amazing. So I just hope that I get to play these soon. They're all coming next year if everything goes correctly. So these are my top 10 games to check out at Spiel. There are more demos, not games, well, demo games. These are just demos. They're not for sale, just to be clear. If you have some of your own, just put them down in the comments below, and I hope to get these checked out. And if you had some experience on these games, maybe you're one of the people that tested them, just give us something in the comments below, because I would love to hear from you. And if you have anything to add to my Spiel coverage, well, tips and tricks and how to get there and stuff like that, just put them in the comments. This was just basically what the Spiel is and the top 10 demos of the Spiel. So there's some more videos coming soon. Hope to see you there. Bye bye.